Hello, dear friends. Here we are. Drops of Light by Casimiro Cunha. True healing for our hearts. And you're welcome to join us today. This is day 2, and it's chapter 1 of a book that is coming about in English. And you're invited to join us. We are here live at Kardec Radio at 11 p.m. in this 40-day journey. And you're welcome to join us in this beautiful therapeutic conversation. It's needed. Yes, Spiritism came for those who need consolation, who need to attune to higher levels. And there's no better way than poetry. And that's why we are dedicating this book to our studies, because it's about Spiritist poetry. There's nothing higher than that. According to Leon Denis, as we said yesterday in our first episode, poetry is a form of music. It's subjected to the laws of rhythm and vibration, and the laws in life in their higher states. True literary merit, the qualities of a beautiful style, are to provoke thought, the reflections of the reader, to create a mental atmosphere that contributes to the development and enrichment of their faculties and moral forces. So we need, as Jesus said, to feel the scriptures. Yes, we've come to know quite a lot. And I say quite a lot, humbly knowing that there's a whole lot more, but quite a lot for now. And the question is, are we feeling it? So to boost our feeling, we're here united to desiccate this beautiful book, Drops of Light. As Emmanuel said in the preface, it comes to take our minds off of the shadows of life and into the light. There are only two pathways, the good or the not good, the good and the evil. And here we are, practicing the consistency of being in the pathway of the good. I know yesterday was quite brief, right? But today we're back here, and I'm gonna say hi to you. After all, this is Facebook Live. What's the point of not saying hi to everybody? It doesn't make any sense, because it's supposed to be interactive. We're supposed to feel like we are right here and now together, you and I and all of us and the good spirits. So you see my t-shirt? Let me show you to you. Fraternity Without Borders. Thanks to dear Angelita, Lea Severo, I've got this t-shirt. And this t-shirt is also a way for us to feel the scriptures, because it's not enough to know. We need to feel the pains of others. We need to know, as Leon Denis says, that at each and every step of our way, we're thinking of those who don't have the resources that we have. And those may be right here under the roof of our homes, or maybe far away. In Mozambique, maybe also in Madagascar, in the northeast of Brazil or the north of Brazil, in the Yemen, where the hunger is striking lives by the minute. What can you do? Go to Fraternity Without Borders. Yeah, Fraternity Without Borders.org and sponsor a child, or you can also buy this t-shirt. Why not? You be a living ad of love wherever you go. Why not contact Angelita? She's right here with us, or Lea Severo, and make your order, place your order, and from there on you can do a whole lot more to help. Okay, let me say hi to you. Yesterday I was frustrated that I couldn't say hi. But then meditating with Mentor Joseph, I said, Mentor Joseph, what's the point of doing Facebook Live and not saying hi to our friends? After all, it's heart to heart, right? And I know, Adilson, you're in the bus. Yes, the Inner Enlightenment Spiritist Society is celebrating their 10th anniversary. How? By getting in touch of the history of their mentor, which is, who is their mentor? Andrew Jackson Davis. And they are going to the core, talking to Tom Kratzley, going to the Lily Dale Assembly. We were there years and years ago. First time was 2004, July 4th, 2004, when I was introduced to Lily Dale by Paula Schmidt, an American psychologist who became a spiritist and lives in Baltimore. Thanks to her, we came often, year after year, year after year, and we created this beautiful friendship with our spiritualist friends, especially Tom Kratzley. So, and also Jenna Nohavik in New Jersey and many others. So you're also invited to join them. They are going to be there this weekend, and we await your news, Adilson and Fred and Angelita and all of you friends. So that's beautiful that we have a moment with all of you. By the way, we have here with us Rihanna from South Africa, from Lydenburg in South Africa. And we are happy to tell all of you who cooperated with the beautiful campaign, the campaign on the Spiritist books, that we succeeded. This past Monday, we were able to ship to them lots of books. And we hope they get to their destination very soon. And hopefully even sooner than that, friends of ours will be visiting them to boost their efforts. Rihanna, it's an honor to be with you. Only God knows why things happen this way. All we know is that we hear the voice saying, do this, and we ask, why not? You know, that's a rule of thumb. When you hear a voice whispering something good to you, don't hesitate. Hesitate when it's something that is not good. But when it's good, just do it. And if you ask why, only God knows. Just do the good, because we're supposed to do the good. Right, friends? Yes. And hello, Angelita. Hello, Adilson. Hello, Sol. Hello, Julija. Beautiful Julija. Beautiful Julija. We look forward to giving you a hand as well, okay? Sunshine, our beautiful Sunshine, helping Kardec Radio all the time. Thank you. Karina, beautiful Karina, how are you? Ana Augusta, how are you? Annie Mércia from Belo Horizonte. Claudinha, how are you? And Rudy, present. So it's good to be here with you. And I want to share something as we're talking about the celebration of the 10th anniversary of the Inner Enlightenment Spiritist Society. This year, the Spiritist Center that was founded by my great-great-grandfather and others is celebrating 100 years. It's in the countryside of the state of São Paulo, and I'll be there for the celebration, God willing. But I want to ask you a help. We're going to be launching pretty soon a campaign. They don't have a library. They don't have a library in their center. They are turning 100 years of existence, but they don't have a library. You know, in Brazil, the Spiritist books are quite costly. It's quite hard for people to access them. Not every city has a Spiritist bookstore. In their city, they don't yet have a Spiritist bookstore. So their center deserves a gift for staying there for 100 years, for having their headquarters from the get-go. They bought the land, they built it, and it's there. My grandmother is still the president currently, and I have cousins and aunts there who are taking care. So I'm inviting you, if you have Spiritist books in Portuguese, and you want to donate to their library, starting tomorrow I'll be able to release the address, and you can either ship it to us or ship it directly to them, because we want to give them a hand on building a library, okay? And I'll be there hopefully this October, November for the celebration and much more, Karina, okay? All right, friends. We are releasing the information now, tuning in with the higher spirits. Casimiro Cunha. Who is Casimiro Cunha? Born in 1880, died in 1914, 34 years. A life that became a legacy. Blind from an early age. At 14, he was blind from 09. Then the second one was gone. Blind from 16 years of age onwards. He wrote books that became a legacy. He became a spiritist. He also helped found the Bezerra de Menezes Spiritist Center in the city of Vassouras, Rio de Janeiro. And when he discarnated, he found the medium Chico Xavier and wrote poetry through Chico. There became published poetry since the book Parnaso de Além Túmulo, a book not yet in English, but the first one published by Chico Xavier, in which he divided waters in Brazil and became news throughout. Later, Casimiro Cunha, the Spirit, wrote several books, amongst them the one we are translating, Drops of Light. Carlos and I are working on this book because it's truly a work of the heart. And what else do we need nowadays but heart work? We spiritists have come to know a lot. It's time to feel and to feel. And poetry can be the pathway. Poetry can be the pathway. So, yesterday we were reading the preface by Emmanuel, in which Emmanuel shared with all of us that Casimiro Cunha is like this spiritual bird that comes and sings these harmonious melodies, divine melodies, and take our minds off of the sadness, of depression, of anguish, of many things that are not good, okay? So, this one, when I translate it, I tell you, I felt deeply moved. Chapter 1, the divine invitation. Let us listen to the words. Feel the vibrations, as Leon Denis says, because this poetry comes from higher states. And we need more of higher vibrations on the earth to change and to secure the peace that we need on the earth. Okay? Many people have been asking, how can I help the earth secure its peace and achieve higher levels of peace? It's not about words. It's about feelings. It's about vibrations. You can send vibrations to the world, and you don't need to do anything else but to feel them. And Spiritist poetry helps us feel these loving vibrations. My friends, we really need, it's a divine invitation tonight. Shall we? Yes? It comes like this. Come to me, you who suffer. And the word of the Lord, touching nations and laws, filled with love resonates. Sad heirs of the cross, who go on with wounded soul, you will find in Jesus the path, the life and the truth. Hungry for peace and shelter, who struggle in the world devoid of faith, you'll find the eternal friend, the bread that descended from heaven. Souls thirsty for haven, who cry captive under the shade, you have in the loving Master the spring of living water. Brothers, who come to Jesus Christ, the guide who leads us, your case is foreseen in his lesson of light. Drops of light. Breathe in and out and feel these drops of light bathing you in true joy. Right, Milena? Right, Ana Augusta? Right, Ivana, Priscila? You're welcome. Ana Lúcia, Léa Severo, Célia Lancaster. My friends, let us now go back to the drops of light and feel them permeating our hearts. The first stanza says, "Come to me, you who suffer." Do you suffer? We all suffer at some point. But the word of the Lord, touching nations and laws, filled with love, resonates. You see, the word of the Lord is not actually the word, spoken word, but it's about the vibrations that comes with it, because it's filled with love. How many of us have this out of sync behavior? We feel one thing and we say something else. Jesus, as the guide and model, he says, "Come to me, you who suffer." And he mean it. He mean it, and he feels it with love. How about you? How far are we from actually feeling what we're saying? How far are we? We need to think, because coherence is vital for the progress of the soul. As Mentor Joseph says, we need to align thoughts, feelings, words, and actions to be coherent. It's important to be authentic, but not to be rough. To be determined, but to be kind. It's a perfect balance, the yin and the yang, the feminine and the masculine. Jesus commands, "Come to me, you who suffer." And he says it with love. So it's a command of love. You're invited. Don't be shy. Some people tell me, "Vanessa, I will only go when I am good because I feel ashamed before Jesus." But you know, if when you're sick, you don't seek the doctor, if you don't seek the doctor, how are you going to get better? If when we are in need of talking to somebody, we don't talk to a good friend, who are we going to talk to when Jesus is the friend? He called us his friends. Do you feel you are a friend of Jesus? Do you feel he is your friend? I know these are two different questions. If we are friends of his, and another if we feel he's our friend. Because we know he is our friend, a true friend. A friend that is there, rain or shine. But the question is, are we his friend? Are we partaking in the plans that he is commanding in the name of God? That's a good question. And he says, "Said heirs of the cross." We are. No wonder we have days in which we're feeling happy. Other days we're feeling sad. And it's all natural, because we're living on the earth and we're still feeling the anguishes of our own progress. It's like when you go to the gym and you feel the sore muscles the next day. Oftentimes that's how it is, the pain of progress. But that's a good sign that we're progressing. The other one, he says, "You who go on with wounded soul, you will find in Jesus the path, the truth, the life. And the Jesus we're talking about here is not that Jesus that people think, who divided people. That doesn't exist. It's a creation of those who used Christ. And there are many people who are still using Christ and abusing. But we know that the Jesus he's talking about is the one that loves all. As Emmanuel says in the book On the Way to the Light, he is the one that never created a religion, never created a sect, never separated himself from anyone. On the contrary, before he reincarnated, he sent many masters, many people of all different pathways to help humanity. So how can we dare not to be universal in our Christ consciousness? It's an implicit feature of the Christ consciousness. We embrace the universal truth that exists in all pathways of humanity. And we need to cherish it, because from Lao Tzu to Moses to Muhammad to Buddha and many others, they were all sent by the Christ Jesus to guide our pathway. How can we dare not to embrace the universality of the teachings that go hand in hand with the teachings of the Christ? You see, with that, we have peace. That's why he's the pathway to peace. No more conflict. You can be a spiritist and cherish Buddhism, of course. You can be a nun and also cherish the teachings of spiritism. You can be a Jew of Jewish tradition and also cherish the teachings of spiritism. And why not? We have not come to destroy the law either, because Jesus himself said so. He didn't either. And then he says, hungry for peace and shelter, who struggle in the world, devoid of faith. You see, this was written in 1953. And it's not a new thing that the world is devoid of faith. Yes, do you struggle in this world that seems to be lacking faith? Come, you're hungry for peace. Peace for peace, for our children, peace for our forests, peace for peace. Yes, we are hungry for peace. We want to go to work and feel that people care about us as much as we care about them. We don't want competition. We don't want competition anywhere. We want to boost collaboration. But how can we boost collaboration? By recognizing people's unique abilities. Everybody on the earth has a unique ability. So here goes a homework to you and I. In the next 24 hours, let us all exercise finding the unique skill, ability, divine ability that the people we encounter have. That's a lot of seeking the good, huh? So, homework in the next 24 hours. Find the unique divine abilities that everyone you encounter have, and be reverent to that. Because we cannot love God if we don't appreciate, respect, and love His creation. Everybody you encounter, we need to value. We need to appreciate. And there is no like, but that person. Forget about the but. You know why? Because in the long run of immortality, that but is going to be dissolved. What's going to stay is the unique divine ability of that person. So that's an invitation to you and I. So we can practice this very teaching, finding the unique ability, the divine ability that everyone you encounter on the earth has. And you see, peace is going to be just a byproduct of that attitude. He says, you'll find in the eternal friend the bread that descended from heaven. So if you're hungry, I'm hungry too. How often I feel sad when I see competition in the places you least expected to find competition. But then we go to the eternal friend, one that is our friend way before we even thought about life, and then goes on being our friend. He has a bread, and we look at him in our hearts and say, Jesus, I need your bread right now, because I know this shall pass. I know these petty competitions in our lives, this lack of agreement is going to disappear. Please, let me have a little bit of your bread so I can nourish myself. Be strong and keep on investing in our immortal pathway. Shall we? Right, Lisa Teles, Rita de Cássia, it's good to see you, and Fabiana and Valkyria. I know Valkyria is there too. Souls thirsty for haven, who cries captive under the shade. You have in the loving Master the spring of living water. My friends, as Emmanuel says in the book Living Spring, the shadows of our past still create a lot of darkness. So let's not complain. When we feel captive, instead of complaining, let's do what Jeziel did. Stephen, from the book Paul and Stephen, look up and says, God, you know better than I. Why I'm here? Please tell me, and drink the living water of this loving Master. And soon after, brothers, come to Jesus Christ, the guide that leads us. Your case is foreseen in his lessons of light. So here in this last stanza, those last verses, Casimiro Cunha reminds us that we can find ourselves in the many hundreds of cases that were shared with us by the people who brought the information of Jesus' teachings. We're there. Where are we? And there we're going to find the lessons of light that we need to illuminate our minds and hearts. This is the divine invitation for today, for tonight, for today, for our friends in Australia, Julija, South Africa, to our friends in Europe, and night for all of us here who are in the other part of the world. For now, I'm going to leave you this divine invitation. Let's find the uniqueness of every one of us and drink this living water and eat the bread that descended from heaven. Shall we? A beautiful day or night, and until tomorrow with more drops of light.